Hey guys, and welcome to
Comic Book Time with Duncan.
Today I have a Batman and DC haul, so let's get into it. Batman, The New Adventures. Batman 408. I believe this is the first appearance of Jason Todd after they did Infinite Crisis on... my DC knowledge is not that great, but they sort of rebooted stuff. Before they sort of rebooted it, he was just kind of like the same as Dick Grayson, but then they changed him into a kid on the street who's stealing wheels from the Batmobile. Then we jump to issue 424, where he kills someone. Then issue 425. This is the issue before, well, Robin dies. Oh, this is what I was talking about before. Issue 563. It's Joker by J. Scott Campbell, and it just looks weird. And the Joker's, I think he's in the whole comic book for like one panel or something like that. It's weird. 620. 655, I believe this is where the Grant Morrison run starts. 664, 682, 683, 687, 688, 689, 691, 700, 701, and 702. Batman Gotham Knights. It's a series that I did not know existed. So this one has like one sort of main story and one backup story that's done by lots of different writers and artists, and I think the backups, actually they're equally as good. This one has a backup story by Warren Ellis and Jim Lee. This is issue 1, by the way. Issue 16, and then we've got the lovely Brian Bolland art. I think he does the art for a lot of the covers. I don't think all of them, because this first one is definitely not him. But he does, his art is lovely. It's just nice to look at. I just want to stick these all on my wall. 17, 33. Oh, this storyline's great. It's like Bane comes to, because Bane knows who Batman is. He's like, hey Bruce Wayne, I'm actually your brother. And then they do that whole like done to death storyline where it's like, oh, he's actually not your brother. Or is he? Like, it's funny. 34. I just love this cover. It's so nice. 35. I really need to pick up more of Gotham Knights. I'm really enjoying it. Issue 36. That's beautiful. Then we have Batman and Robin by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. And of course, Frank Quitely does the interior art for like 4 issues and then just does the covers because I really like his art, but apparently he takes forever to do stuff. That's why that thing what he was doing with Mark Millar halted, well, Jupiter's Legacy, because he takes for fucking ever to do his stuff. Like, you need to be able to produce your stuff a bit faster, but I guess, you know, it's art. So this is Batman and Robin, and that's Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin. The dynamic's like really good. I think a lot of people were like, they just wanted Dick Grayson to continue being Batman. 2, 3, 4, and then we have Jason Todd, who came back to life, you know. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, this is probably my favourite cover, and I actually have a funny story. No, it's not a funny story. So I used to be with an agency, and there's this place called, I don't know if I should name it, but oh well, anyway, it's called Village Vanguard, and it sells just sort of like variety goods, like foreign toys, candles, just lots of different weird stuff. And they wanted to do a collab with me, and they were like, you really like Batman, right? And I'm like, yeah, I fucking love Batman. And they're like, we want to do sort of like PDR Sun produces a Batman t-shirt, and they said, you can take any piece of artwork, choose any piece of Batman artwork, and we'll put it on a t-shirt. And this was one of the ones that I chose, and I chose a bunch of cool ones, and they were all like, oh yeah, we can't use those, even though they told me that they could. And then I was like, well, what can you use? And they sent me the most just ugliest Batman logos I've ever seen in my life, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I think I'm gonna pull out of this. Oh, I love this one too. Batman and Robin. 13, 14, 15, and the last, not the last issue, but the last issue of Morrison's run on Batman and Robin, issue 16. Issue 17, 23, 24, and 26. Then we move on to tiny bit of Detective Comics. Detective Comics, the first series, 766, Bruce Wayne the Murderer. I think that's the first issue of that storyline. It's by Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka's run on Detective, I think it's a bit underrated. And then we jump to DC Universe Rebirth. So they rebooted it with the New 52, and then they kind of rebooted again, but then they sort of brought back some of the old continuity. You know, if you don't know what's going on, then never mind. Anyway, I pick up Batman, but I only pick up Detective when I see it secondhand. We have 935, 955, and 956. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Then we have some more Morrison Batman. Batman Incorporated, the first series, issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have a special Leviathan Strikes. And then they it had to end because the New 52, they basically rebooted the DC universe and they restarted everything. But Batman Incorporated kind of like some tweaks, like, you know, Barbara Gordon was Oracle, but then she became Batgirl. So some tweaks, but for the most part, it's still pretty much a continuation of like the first series. It kind of ignores a lot of it. So Batman Incorporated second series, issue 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wonder what happens in this. And of course, like whenever Morrison does something, they'll undo it immediately. Well, maybe not so much with Jean Grey, but they still undid it. So issue 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I believe this is the last thing Morrison did with Batman, where he had like this huge run on like Batman Incorporated, Batman and Robin. I think this is, yeah, I think it's the end. And then we have Batman Incorporated special, but I don't think Morrison does anything in this one. The Return of Bruce Wayne, issue 1. So Bruce Wayne, Batman supposedly died, but he didn't really. He was sent back in time, and then he has to fight his way back, time traveling to the... It sounds so stupid. Comic books are stupid. I love comic books though. Issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Batman the Return. Is it? Oh, this is all done by Grant Morrison too, by the way. Batman No Man's Land, Ground Zero. So, how do I explain this? So, this went on for like a year. It was like a year-long event, spanned over all of the Bat titles. There was a massive earthquake in Gotham, and I think there was aftershocks. So I think there was 2. There was another earthquake, and then everyone got loose from Arkham Asylum, and the America just like deemed Gotham like what was the word? They blew up the bridge and made it so no one could get in or out from Gotham, and it's just like no man's land. It's just this year-long story of Batman trying to take back Gotham. Then we have Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder. It has lovely art by Jim Lee. It's written by Frank Miller. This is around the time when he kind of started to lose it. They should finish this because he's back with DC doing stuff. This Batman is actually just it's if Batman sometimes is on the verge of like losing it, but this Batman has completely lost it. It's kind of like a meme because he said, "I'm the goddamn Batman." It's really weird, but it's a train wreck. But I enjoy the train. It's so bad, but it's so bad that it's hilarious. Batman Harley Quinn. I think this reprints the first appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity. I think this is like pretty rare. I don't know if it's rare. I think it's in very nice condition, and I don't know. I don't really know about what anything's worth that much. I just like to read stuff. And then we have Batman Gotham Adventures. That's basically the kids' TV show in comic form, which is actually really good. Issue 9, 57, 58, 59, and I think this is the last issue, 60. I love this cover, it's really nice. Batman Adventures that sort of comes after this, but I don't think this lasted as long. 1 and 2. 2 issues of Hellblazer, Hellblazer 165 and 239. This cover's by Glenn Fabry. One of the few series that was good during the New 52, Animal Man. I had all of it all on digital, but I don't have most of the actual physical copies. So issue 5, 7, 8, 9. A lot of these are beat to hell because they were in the store for like a year or 2 before I bought them. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The Demon Etrigan. I I think that's how you pronounce it. It's by Garth Ennis and John McCree, who went on to do Hitman, and I love Hitman. And I just saw this. I got this at the book fair, and never read it before. Don't really know much about Etrigan. I just know that all of his sentences rhyme. I just got it because the cover looked cool, and I kind of want to get into it, but I had no idea what's going on in it because, well, it's the last issue. So. And filling in some gaps for Deathstroke, the Terminator. I guess they dropped the Terminator part in later issues. It's just Deathstroke 41, 46, 47, 51, 52, 53, 54, 59. Oh, his short-lived blue outfit was pretty bad. 60. And much like Deadpool, I believe that he did not have a new series for ages, because Deadpool got cancelled, and then you had Agent X, Cable and Deadpool, and then finally, many years later, you got the second Deadpool series. He didn't have a series up until the New 52, Deathstroke by Rob Liefeld. my Liefeld obsession is growing because of all of the... He just lets people, you know, do cool stuff with his creations, and it's just, I'm just kind of a bit obsessed with him at the moment. 10, 11. Look at this logo. It's the feet hidden by the barcode. 12. Oh, it's really bad, by the way. Then we have Green Arrow. This is the second series, I think. It's by Kevin Smith. When I first got back into comics, this is like one of the first series I read. Never had the first issue, but now I do. Then we have JLA, more Grant Morrison. I really love Grant Morrison. Issue 5. But then there's no... That's the only Morrison one I have. But some more JLA. Issue 51, 76, 77, 83, 90. And then we have Secret 6, which I love to death. Secret 6 by Gail Simone. This is the short... I think this is the first series. This is the first series with these characters. It's a 6-issue mini-series, issue 3. And then it has the main series. It's just basically a bunch of villains together, and Bane's in it too. Bane has a character, and he's really interesting in this, unlike in a lot of things. Issue 1, 3, 4, 8, 19. I think I got like a lot of these like 2 years ago. 20, 21, 25, a nice like Street Fighter-esque selection screen cover, and 28. And then we have some more Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely with All-Star Superman 9. This is another sort of, it's like a alternative universe, different sort of story of Superman, just like that Batman one. It's done by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. It came out I think around the same time as All-Star Batman and Robin, but this one actually finished. Issue 10 and 11. I think issue 12 is the last one. I have this all digitally, but I want all of the physical copies because I really like it. And we're going to end with Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing 82. I love this cover. It's really good. And then we jump all the way to 140. Again, it's Grant Morrison and Mark Millar run. 140, 149, 150. I think that it just becomes Mark Millar halfway through. 170, and then filling in gaps for the New 52. Something 11, 12, and 13. And that is my Batman DC haul. If you read comics, let me know what you're currently reading, and let's talk about comic books in the comment section.